This video is sponsored by Absolute Truth Accounting. Compilation starting from 3,000 Rand. Independent reviews starting from 5,000 Rand. Contact us on our direct line, which is 060-187-0680. That's 060-187-0680. Or our email, which is absolutetruthaccounting@gmail.com. That's absolutetruthaccounting@gmail.com. Thanks. Peace. Let's get into it. Shine in the Light, chapter 3 on 60 Crib. So yeah, I went through what some might call a tragedy in my life, and it left me like struggling to understand my place in the world again. And it's basically because my cousin passed away in a car accident when I was 19 years old, and yeah, life has never been the same since. Honestly, like, let me take it from the ground up. So, like, I knew because by then I already had, I was 18 years or yeah, 17, 16 years into playing soccer. I was basically doing my degree at UJ with him, and we grew up together basically. But he lived in the south. He went to Mondio High. I went to Ellen Glen High. So I'm from the west. He's from the south. And then yeah, like he passed away, and it was the only weekend I wasn't with him. Every other weekend we were like inseparable, and it like knocked the wind out of me. So, like, I want to break down what I had to go learn, and like the context of what I know that is almost unheard of in today's society. But I found answers, and they are objective truths because I'm an auditor. So, we have a framework in our audit programs that provides a measure of reliance. They're not a one size fits all, but uh, there will be a measure of reliance that you can get provision on. Um, yeah, just depending on what it is, and it's an assertion you make in the financial statements. Because I come from an accounting background, I did my articles. Yeah, I just have like a 6 month delay. So yeah, I know what a framework is and how to establish reliance, right? So the answers I went to go find, it done exactly that. It's a measure of reliance. And I knew internally like it was gonna take me about another 10 years to grasp how I can formulate the explanation of what I've come to understand. But and that was basically when I was 22, and now I'm 33. So can see how the cycles work in life as well. I'm not very sure what the 11-year cycle is for, but I can see it evident definitely in my life. Okay, um, so I went through this passing away, right? And then it like nothing made sense to me. I already was, like I say, 19. I had a pretty good understanding of things, I'd say. We don't know everything, but um, we just enough to get by. Like Trevor says, just enough to get by. But yeah, just enough to get by. So I go on first, like the thing that they explained to us. The thing they explained to us is like um, the theory of evolution, right? Because I'm a professional myself, so like if you want to get insight into, because I was trying to figure out like where did this guy go, and what does that mean for us, and what is life for? Why are we here? Where do we go after death? And who am I? Basically, that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, what the fuck is plotting here, my boy? Because I'm tripping. I'm waking up every day tripping. Like I don't know who I am, and it's so like things aren't making sense, and I just need to know who I am. Where did he go? Like, where do we go after death, and where do we come from? And like I'm saying, as a professional, you go to theory of evolution. That thing wasn't making sense. Like, it was still, there were holes in my settings, you know. Like, there wasn't enough coverage. Something was still materially misstated. And if you're an auditor, you know what I'm saying, right? So I needed that. There was still this hole that I needed to fulfill. So my friends, they're musicians, right? Producers and stuff, and rap. One's a rapper, one's a producer, one's a producer rapper. Yeah, they were always discussing things like of almost of the nature of how things are, but not everybody speaks about this. And they were like, we all slaves, and uh, you know, there's a bigger agenda. There's the elite, and I was just like, no, this is cool what you guys talk about, but no one talks about it. It's not like this is like pseudo. You know, there's no framework for this, but I'm just looking at the nature of reality because I'm a practical person. I'm like, I do see what they're saying, but how true could this be almost? And I'm always like open to things. I don't just dismiss them for some reason. Anyway, I'm trying to find answers, trying to make sense of things. And then one night, like, I have a conversation with my sister, and she basically has a spiritual, I don't know, it's like a halem in other cultures. You know, everything you experience in your culture, now you must still convert it into English. It's almost like a two-part nonsense. Because if I'm talking about like what something is, and there's no word for it, like, doesn't mean that thing doesn't exist. The words, like, connecting to things, you know, name connecting to form. It's two parts. You already have form. You don't need a name for form. It's, let's say you didn't have a name for a chicken. What would that thing look like? It will feathery, whatever. What is that? You know. But names, they like reduce things. Now you've made them a possibility that like outshines all other possibilities because now you just know chickens and your memory connects to your thought of chickens, and that's like mundane. Anyway, um, where was I? I just got through. All right, so my sister explains to me one night like somebody's trying to hex her, you know, spiritually. Now, hey, I'm logical to the core. Like, that thing won't make sense to me, but I'm a Hindu, so I see somebody's mentioning me in a comment there. All right, I did also smoke. All right. Um, Yeah, so she tells me like, nah, somebody came to our house, exactly the house I'm sitting in, and they put a hex on us. And oh, well, like her and by extension us. And it was like the hex is on the one side of the yard and the other side of the yard. And like yeah, so one day the temple at the bottom here, at the bottom of the yard, just catches on fire like that. So I would have had a logical explanation like, nah, the fire from the lamp that's lit, somehow the wind blew it, and you know, that's how the temple caught alight. And yeah, that's how the fire started. She had a whole like spiritual explanation for it, like, ah, no, man, the this person is like trying to twirl, you know, in Bushita we say twirl. They're trying to twirl her, and yeah, this is of twirl now. All right, sorry, Aisha, I'm so harsh. Okay, this is of tour, and how tour works is like they put things in you, like, and it's muti, you know, it's muti stuff. Put things in you, and then yeah, like they trying to mess up your life type thing with spiritual rituals, right? And then so she says, um, her like spiritual power blocked it. You know, they try to shoot, and she with her spiritual power went, blocked it. And the temple burning was like the outcome of that blockage. Yeah. So once that happens, she says everything in the temple burned. Now we have deities there, we have lamps there, we've got like spiritual, significant things that like tie up to a higher power. And everything burned, but she said the only thing that didn't burn is the agarbati, the incense sticks. And on the box it said, "Go away, evil," and there were three incense sticks in there, right? It said, "Go away, evil." So me like listening to this, like, whoa, what? Hold on, for real, like, Aish, how fine is this strand that connects to this higher power? Because that sounds quite logical, you know. Who am I to just say my sister? And she's 5 years older than me, quite studious herself, she's a psychologist. What reason would she have to make stuff like this up? For what? To what end? So I can just believe in fairy tales? I think not. So that's I think to myself after that exchange, like, nah, you know what? God could be real. That's a plausible reality right there. And who's to say there's uh, the framework that science is, or theory of evolution, where that stems from? And this reperformable framework, who's to say that humans know everything, can know everything, are able to know everything? I don't think so. Like, I came to a point in my life where I know that this Western civilization is like making it up as it goes along, type of thing, you know? All power to them, they've come a long way, but I mean, they don't have answers to significant, like, philosophical questions. Doesn't make sense. Gray areas doesn't make sense. In areas that are non-significant, like cars and shit, they have all the answers. Something's plotting here, obviously. I can see the triggers, I can see the outcomes, and I can see like how the picture has been molded according to someone's narrative. Now I don't know all of that properly, how I know that, but something in me grasps that at a fundamental level. And so I just knew that this can't be all that there is, and I'm gonna set everything I know down of everything I've learned up until this point, because it's not giving me like solace for my cousin's passing and what I'm here for. Where do I go after death, and where did I come from? And if you don't know that, I mean, you don't know anything basically. And I was like, this Western civilization is cool and everything, but there's too many gaps in their understanding. And I'm gonna set this down until I can make sense of what they're actually trying to say and what the truth is. What is plotting here and why am I here? Like, because I'm a mess now and I don't know how to fix it. So I'm gonna break it down in part. I get chapter 4 where I break down my framework, and I needed to find obviously a public source that could confirm that, and I knew that I'm also just a limited being, so it must connect to more information, and I'll break that down in the next chapter, in chapter 4. All right, that's Shining the Light, chapter 3. Peace.